Good morning. Good morning. I know I'm a minute late. I got distracted.
Looking at your front
Looking at my front row. Just had to run down the hall. Oh no, it's 9 o'clock. Good morning. Welcome to Friday. Still chaos here, but our chaos now. No decorators, no builders, just barking dogs and things. So it's all good. It's all good. Lots of people here already. Good morning. Good morning. The sun is shining. Pete's singing in our little bit of Portsmouth, in Hampshire, in the south of England. Good morning, Tina. Good morning, Jane. Good morning, Karen. Good morning. Good morning. Yeah, it feels. It's not quite summery because it's still a little bit chilly.
Warmer weather.
It is, yeah, what we call warm weather. That's going back a few years. Yeah, it's definitely moving towards summer. That's for sure. That's for sure. Today's subject, bone magic. Just because, why not? Bone magic. Do you work with it? Have you worked with it? Do you not want to work with it? What do you use it for? How do you work with bone magic? How do you work with bones? That's the subject for today. So any thoughts, questions, insights on bone magic? That's where we'll take it today. Good morning, Emma. Yeah, all good with us. Thank you. Good morning, Christine. Good morning, Amanda. Good morning, Jackie. Lots of lovely people watching already. Good morning. Good morning. What have we got? Now, if you are interested in Welsh goddesses, if you are interested in the royalty of Welsh witchcraft, we have MoonCon tomorrow, Saturday, the 10th of May. If you're watching this later on, it's on replay as well. MoonCon 25, Saturday, 10th of May, and it's all about the Welsh goddesses. We have Brett Holyhead talking about Sabrina. We have, trying to remember these off the top of my head, we have Mara Starling talking about Branwen. We have Jenna Tlendru talking about Rhiannon. And we have Christoph Hughes talking about Arianrod. And then you have just boring old me struggling with all the Welsh pronunciations in amongst all of those immensely talented people. 4 talks and then an hour Q&A session with all 4 of them, with me sort of doing the hosting bit. 6 p.m. BST time, Saturday, 10th of May. And it's streaming live to the Moonbooks YouTube channel and the Moonbooks Facebook page, and on replay afterwards as well. But do join us live if you can, because there will be a chance to ask questions. Oh, there's a link there. Thank you. Right. Get all these up. Good morning, Trudy. Good morning, Janet. Good morning, Steve. Good evening, Zephora. Good morning, David. Subtitles on Facebook said it was bow magic. That's for us cool kids. We call it bow magic. We also have some very limited edition hoard boxes up on the Kitchen Witch online shop website that the girls are making. They went up yesterday and some of them are sold out already, so do have a look. Good morning, Susanna. WelshCon, I like it. WelshCon, yeah. Let's not look forward to my pronunciation. The Welsh language is beautiful if it's spoken properly. I'm not good at speaking it properly. Good morning, Karen. Right, let's get some of these up. Jane, is bone magic called ossomancy? I have no idea. I don't have no idea. I'm going to Google that. Ossomancy? Oh. No, it's not that. Osmomancy, the manipulation of bone, cartilage, ligaments, and other structural elements. Ew. Not quite, I think, is the answer. Bone magic to me is Heather has a bone set. She reads divination with her set of bones, like casting runes. She casts her bones. So there's divination side of it. For me, bone magic, I work with connecting with the bones of animals to connect with their spirit, to connect with their magic, to connect with their energy. Yeah, manipulating ligaments and stuff. Ooh, that's not for me. That's not. Ooh, yuck. Tina, been on my mind very recently about bone magic. I must have been reading your thoughts. Don't understand it. Always found it creepy and fascinating. Definitely want to know more, please. Oh, hopefully we can shine some light on today. It is fascinating. I think once you get past the creepy bit, it is definitely something very interesting to work with. Bless you, Ruby. You're not boring. You're wonderful. It's why we tune in every week. Thank you. I might be boring tomorrow because I don't know anything about Welsh goddesses, so I'll just be throwing the questions out there at the people. Osaboko. No, you make me hungry now. Good morning, Sam. Good morning, Monique. It is indeed another beautiful day. Ruby, will Heather be joining us? Heather, if you're watching, she can jump on. She knows how to do it. I don't know where she is this morning. She might be working. But if she's out there, she'll jump on. Good morning, Xenia. Good morning. Guten Morgen. Nice sunny weather in northern Germany. Excellent.
What's that, your German?
My German's very rusty.
Where's that, really?
There's something Clive Barker would write about, probably. Now, this is the other side of it. Bone magic to me is letting the animal live longer. So let's start with that. I am not vegetarian. I am a meat eater, but what I am is a mindful meat eater. All of our meat comes from a farm in Devon. It is all organic. It's all well kept, well looked after. If I work with bones, I work with bones from animals that are roadkill or have been. My drum, for example, you can just see it in the corner there. I birthed my drum myself. It's made from stag skin, but it's made from stags that were older stags that were culled from a herd up in Scotland for management purposes. So very, very mindful. If I eat something with a bone in it, then I make sure that I use a chicken, for example. I make sure I use the whole chicken. Make sure they are not battery chickens by any stretch. I will eat the meat, boil the bones for soup, for stock. You can make brilliant divination sets from chicken bones. It's about honouring the whole animal. If you are going to eat meat, then it is about being mindful, I think. There are whole other issues with it. I have lived and worked on a pig farm, so I have seen it from the farming point of view. If everyone stopped eating meat, we would lose an awful lot of our breeds. There would be no need to keep sheep. There would be no need to keep cows, pigs, goats. There are ways of managing it. There are ways of looking after them in a mindful manner. I think that's what it is. It is about, if you are going to do it, be mindful. But for me, working with things like I have magpie wings, I have magpie feet. I'm not going to show anything today. I'm not going to show you any of the bits and pieces. I'm mindful of that. I have boar teeth because I work with boar. It is, for me, a way of connecting and honouring the animal. It's just about being mindful, for me anyway. Good morning, Angela, from a chilly France. There is still a bit of a nip in the air. The summer's coming. Xenia, osmomancy was first thinking of horse skull thing. Oh yes, the obby horse. let's I do like Obios. I think we talked about them last week. Sephora. My mum has her hip bone hung up as a garden ornament. That's quite bizarre. I love it. Certainly works for protection. Yeah, and if need be, she could hit people over the head with it. A bit late this morning. Oh, Angela, positive heap loads of hugs and stuff to you. Hang in there. Not nice. Emma, never used bones in my magic work. It's never something I've considered, but I am interested in seeing what others think about it. Again, I think it is about being mindful. It is a brilliant, brilliant way to connect with the energy of the animal. My drum, as I say, stag energy on the skin, and it has a special something to it. It has a living energy to it. I have a necklace with boar teeth on it. I have a talisman with boar teeth on it. It helps me connect with the energy. Although Boar's been with me for so long now, he's there anyway. Magpie wings as well. Feathers, all really good to connect with energy, not technically bones. I have a fetish made with magpie feet. They were all from roadkill. They were all collected from the roadside once the car had done the deed. And for me, rather than leave it, it is a way again of honouring the animal, honouring the bird. But each to their own. You have to feel comfortable with doing it. I have a magpie skull. That one was given to me. It's still a bit icky. I buried it in the garden to clean it off. So you have to be comfortable doing it. But for me, they have that special energy. I've just realised I've still got my official publicist bit on there. Let's just get rid of that because you know who I am. There we are. Yeah, it's about the energy of things. It is about connecting, but it's not going to work for everyone. Not everyone is going to feel comfortable with it. It's just another way of working with things. David, slightly eyes up the tied magpie skeleton in a bird's nest. All right. The dried clue hanging on a window frame and the deer jawbone hanging on a stang. Bone magic, never heard of it. There is something very special about it. There is energy to all of it, absolutely. Let's say Heather's got her bone set and it has got deer. It's got deer bones. It's got fox bones in it. She's got other bits and pieces in it as well. There's a fossil in there and some sea glass and bits, all natural pieces. But each of those different pieces has an energy that helps her with the reading. When Ness reads her runes, she has a bag of crow bones beside it because the energy helps her connect and work with the divination and make that psychic connection. They can all help us in some way as well. Jane, I've got a set of fossilised bones. Last time I cast them, they formed a map of Britain. Interesting. Took that as a meaning either I need to explore places close to home on holiday or I need to get out more. There are so many fascinating places in Britain that I still want to explore. Yeah, we're very blessed to have the country that we do. Thank you, Xenia. Guten Morgen. I do try. I'm a bit rubbish at languages. Good morning, Maria. Lucky Fairy Queen. Find bone magic a bit weird for my liking, but guess there is practice of blood and bone magic, so there must be something to it. Not. Is that a cat outside? There's a cat making a very strange noise outside. Not very well. I think bone magic, it is blood magic ties in as well. I guess I should say I never sacrifice anything. Do not pop a goat on the altar. No. It's just things do come to me, roadkill bits and pieces or ethically sourced bits and pieces. If you're interested in owl magic, the girls have made some owl hoards, and in that we have basically owl puke. We have some owl pellets, and so within the owl pellets are lots of little tiny bones from mice and various things that the owl has eaten, because the animal world is a whole cycle of life. Animals eat other animals, that's how it goes. But those are quite interesting to work with as well. My phone's going as well. What is going on? Let me just turn this to silent so that we don't listen to the Poirot theme every 5 minutes when an email comes in. Yeah, you have to feel comfortable with it. There are various ways of working with it. I say divination is really good. You can make fabulous divination kits with odd bits and pieces, just bones from your roast chicken dinner. You can make a fabulous divination set from. But if you want to work with a specific animal, having a bone from them is a direct link, and it is a fabulous way to honour the animal. I am not advocating you pop out and bop a badger on the head just to get the bone. That is wrong, obviously. But there are ethically sourced places that you can get things from, but it has to call to you. They are good on your altar for making connections. Some pieces work quite well as jewellery. Myself and Heather and Ness have all got deer antlers, although sort of bone, but I kind of include them as bone magic. Antler pieces, obviously the animal stays alive, the antlers fall off naturally, but we have antler piece jewellery. That's a brilliant way to connect with deer. You can put little bits and pieces. We have slices of antler that sometimes we put into spell pouches or witches' jars. I've used boar teeth in spell pouches before now. There is that energy there is that magic there, and it works in all sorts of ways. It also helps if you work with hedge riding or shamanic practice of any kind. If you have a bone from the animal, it makes it much easier to connect with the spirit of animal on the other side of the hedge. It's useful. It's useful in lots of ways, but it has to work for you. Good morning, Steve. Bones are great homes for spirit servitors. I have crow feet in my house for protection, along with other bones and skulls. Yeah. If you went to Wandering Witches the other week, Heather Ness and I went to all of the stalls looking at the dead things. But yes, they do, Steve. They do make excellent protection for your home. Just so many uses. Once you start working with it, there are so many uses. Christine, have a skull of a roe deer that was roadkill, and I honour him as I walk past him. Always speak to him. He lives well in my house, and I even get the honour of a spider's web too. That's when you've been accepted, when you've got a spider's web in your eye socket. It is. It's a brilliant way of honouring them. Jane, my son's girlfriend, does a lot of honouring. She's got a freezer full of roadkill. That's the only thing that kind of I think, would I eat it? You don't know how long it's been lying in the road, do you? That's my only issue with that. But yeah, all of my magpie skulls, legs, wings, they've all come from roadkill that have been properly. Now, there's the thing. If you do find roadkill, do please look up how to treat it properly. It all needs to be cleaned. It all needs to be dried properly to make sure there's no nasties and to make sure it doesn't go icky. And actually that goes with just feathers as well. Feathers can carry insects and things in them. If you pick up a feather and you want to take it home and use it, I recommend popping it in the freezer for a couple of hours first, and then it's all good to go. Just be mindful of the icky bits. Sephora, I have a rabbit's foot. Oh, courtesy of the cat. Yes, cats do like to bring gifts, don't they? Do have bird skulls, but on altar, and feathers, but more honouring their energy than using for magic and readings. There are so many different ways to use them, and that's brilliant to use on the altar. Yes, I have my my magpie skull sits on my altar because it's a bit too fragile to use for anything else. It is. It's a way of honouring their energy. Janet, I have a chicken foot. You can get those. You can get those in the Asian supermarkets or in dog pet. Actually, if you want horns, cow horns, sheep horns, chicken feet, pet shop. Don't look at me like that. You can. They sell them as chew toys for the dogs. The rabbit's ears, they do as well. We can't give them to Eric because he gets really bizarrely possessive with them.
Freaks out a bit.
He freaks out a bit. Yeah, I think we had a pig's ear once, didn't we? And one of the rabbit's ears. He gets all stressed out about it and starts trying to hide it in the corners of the room.
In
case we steal it, yeah. So we don't have them anymore because he gets too stressed. But yeah, pet shops are good places to look for them as well. Good morning, Tanith. Good morning, Emily. Never used bones before as I wasn't sure if it was ethical. Almost bought a slice of antler in York last weekend but didn't as I was unsure how it had been sourced. That, I think, is the point. But antlers fall off naturally. The animal sheds its antlers every year. So antlers generally should be okay. Bones, wings, other bits and pieces, yeah, check to see the authenticity, the sourcing of it. Absolutely. Sephora, where does pulling the wishbone apart from a chook roast come from? I don't know where that comes from, isn't it? It's quite a long, old tradition of pulling the wishbone apart for luck. Chickens, turkeys, I don't know. If anyone knows, pop it in the comments. That would be interesting. Emily, I do have a lot of fossils. I love ammonites in particular. Really like to hold or carry around mosasaur teeth. I don't know that one. They're such terrifying dinosaurs that holding one of their teeth makes me feel less afraid. Perfect. I've got shark teeth as well that I do work with on occasion because it brings the energy of shark as well. But fossils, love them. Bringing the energy of the actual animal. But I think as well, fossils are also really good for connecting with ancestor magic because they are so old, and earth magic because they're usually found buried in the earth somewhere. Perfect. Tina, taxidermy for sourcing the animal. Yes, if you want a complete animal, taxidermy is the way to go. I have to admit, it's not a profession I would be doing myself. The thought of doing that is no. But yes, if you want an entire animal, taxidermy, yeah. There is quite a few places that do that. Etsy have quite a few bits and pieces like that as well. It's definitely a skill. I'm not sure we'd be happy with an entire stuffed boar sitting in the living room. No, he's not going to go for that.
We've got a pink flamingo.
We have got pink flamingo. It's not a real pink flamingo, but we have got a life-size pink flamingo that stands in the living room.
I buy you the best presents.
You do buy me the best presents. He was supposed to go in the garden, but I felt sorry for him and I couldn't put him out in the garden, so he's lived in the sitting room ever since. But yeah, taxidermy, perfect, because you have got the complete animal. Lucky Fairy Queen. This is very interesting. My small introduction to it's going to bring the flamingo right here. There we are. It's quite big, isn't it? Yeah, this is Joe.
He heard you talking about it.
He did, yeah. He needs to go back in the sitting room now. The sitting room's just been decorated, so it's empty at the minute. That's this afternoon.
Like a Morecambe and Wise thing now, that's just in the picture.
Go back to work.
Okay.
My small introduction to bone magic was that it was used for dark magic. No. But these ways you suggested make me feel more comfortable. I can see how it could be so helpful. Yeah. Myself, Ness and Heather, we all work with bone magic in a perfectly acceptable way Divination, connecting with the energy of the animal, honouring the animal. Yeah, it's a wonderful way to honour the animal that has passed. Absolutely. Yeah, lots of ways of doing it. David, always been interested in a bone divination set. If one makes itself, then cool. I'm not going to go looking for it. I feel these things need to make their own way. Heather has bought her bone set together. We were talking one day, and she was saying about bone magic, and I found a little pile, basically collection of bones on Etsy. Just a couple of fox bones, and I think there was a couple of deer bits in there as well. And I gifted them to her, and that started it. And from there, other things have joined. Like I say, a piece of sea glass that we found when we were in Charmouth, that added to it, a fossil seed, shell, other bits and pieces of bone, bits of antler, have all kind of... So the set has come together over time. And she reads it amazingly. It's brilliant how it works, and all natural. Good morning, Andrea. Emma, Uncle Paul says it's getting creepy. Sorry, Uncle Paul. It's not, honestly. It's all good. Sarah's okay with roadkill. The other day, they were riding on John's motorbike and a driver in front hit a pheasant. Oh, pheasants are so silly, aren't they? Ness and I were driving back from somewhere the other day, and a pheasant, we had to stop because the pheasant was just standing in the middle of the road, just kind of tum-ti-tum. Silly creatures. It was beyond saving and suffering grievously, so Sarah dispatched it humanely and it went in the pot the same evening. That, to me, is honouring the animal. Rather than leaving it on the roadside to suffer, that is honouring the animal. Sarah teaches bushcraft and ancient technology. Brilliant. So she's good at judging how long something's been deceased. Yes, I think if you're going to pick something up from the roadside and eat it, you do need to know a bit about it. But that's brilliant. That, to me, is honouring the animal. Absolutely. Christine, once got a cow hoof for my Airedale and he took one look at it and threw it behind the TV. That was his bone magic protecting the house, and obviously wasn't impressed with that. They're funny creatures, aren't they? Sephora, bone carving is quite popular here for Maori-based designs. Oh, brilliant. As an alternative to greenstone, often in the shape of a fishhook. Ah, yes, I have seen. I've seen the fishhook bone designs. My dad lived in New Zealand for a number of years and loves the culture. He still, to this day, wears a Maori pendant from Pao shell. That's the right word, isn't it? God Maui caught New Zealand with a jawbone and pulled it up to the surface. Nice. I have got a tiki, isn't it? I've got one here. It's somewhere. It's all a bit chaos here. Nothing's in the right place at the minute. I have got tiki that my dad brought back from New Zealand as well. But I've seen the bone designs now, come to think of it. Angela, I have a roadkill owlfoot. Sadly, the skull and much of the rest of it was too damaged. I've had it for about 12 years, sits on my altar. Still haven't decided what to do with it, if anything. Maybe it's just happy sitting there. Interestingly, when we were putting the owl hoard together, we found a few places that supplied the owl pellets, or owl puke, as I like to call it. Finding owl feathers or owl bones, couldn't find at all. Very, very difficult to get hold of, which is interesting because crow feathers and even magpie feathers and bones and fox bones and deer bones you can get quite easily. Owls, not so much. Susie, there's a farm shop near my second home near Huntingdon that had antlers by the barrowful, sold by the kilo. Wow. Johnson's of Oldhurst, if anyone's in the area. Excellent. That's what we like to see. Steve, you can often find the odd antique stuffed animal at car boot sales. Yes, some of the kind of junk shop type places do have them as well. The antique places do have them, but they tend to be quite pricey. The Victorians and the Edwardians loved them. They used to make those very bizarre scenes from the stuffed animals. You would have like a stuffed ferret fighting a crow in a glass kind of fish tank display thing. All kind of very bizarre. What else? Something else. Oh, I think it was ferrets and rats playing cricket or something bizarre like that. Yeah, the Victorians, Edwardians, they loved all that kind of stuff. Emma's been Googling. Well done. Pulling a wishbone came from the ancient Etruscans who believed chickens had divine powers. I'm fairly certain chicken have divine powers. I love chickens. I think they're hilarious. Yeah, don't be fooled by the chicken. I think they have got very special powers. David, bone is powerful just psychologically. That's a big word for this early in the morning. Psychologically. Lots of L's in that. Reminder not only of death and mortality, but the stripping away the outside mask, leaving only the true, the bare bones. Wisdom again from David. Yes, nailed it. Absolutely. Xenia, we should do crowdfunding for gifting a whole wild boar for Rachel's birthday. Well, I'm guessing if anywhere has them, Germany will. Because you have lots of them wild, don't you? So yeah, that's I'm up for that. I don't know how Eric would take to it. Yeah, he might have a few arguments with it. Karen, I've got a few different bones from animals and birds, all found in my garden. I work with them for honouring, connecting, particularly around Samhain. Never tried divination with bones, so I like the idea, just haven't tried it. It's interesting to work with because each bone will bring its own energy, and where it falls when you cast them will be different each time as well, and each ones that they fall beside or which way up they fall, or it's something you work out. Oh, thank you, Sephora. Power, pronounced power. Okay, power. If that helps future reference, it does. Thank you. I like to know how things should be said properly. I may not always remember them, but I do try. Sephora, being of Scottish heritage, there's grouse feet and rabbit's feet seem to pop up in jewelry a lot. Interesting. These things find us. Emma. Okay, so it was the Romans that started pulling the wishbones apart. Usually the Romans, isn't it? Whatever it is. David. Victorians had some very strange ways. They did. I love them. I love the whole Victorian era. Everything. From the outfits to the house decorations to the crockery to even the ectoplasm. I love it all. Ruby, missed out on the crow horde again. Will there be any more? Not for the foreseeable future. There are some other hordes going up. Crow hordes are Ness's domain. There were only a certain amount of bits and pieces that she had, but we may run them again at some point. The idea is that they are limited editions, so we make them when the energy is there. But keep an eye out. Never say never, as they say. Jane, it's hard to make meaningful eye contact with a chicken. They're inscrutable. They are, aren't they? Yeah, I love them. I think they're brilliant. Angela, so lucky that our house has a parliament of owls living in the garden. Oh, amazing. Pellets and feathers are not a problem. Bones are less abundant. Rodent bones, however, are very abundant, yes. I love that a group of owls is called a parliament. It just makes so much sense. That very blessed to have that, Angela. Very blessed. Karen, our local library had loads of those glass cases with stuffed animals in. I was fascinated as a child. I can remember going to, it must have been the Natural History Museum when I was a kid. They had lots of glass cabinets like that with lots of stuffed animals in them. Christine, not keen on blood magic. What's your thoughts? I've got given a small bottle and told it had animal blood in it, still in the bag, and I don't touch it for some reason. It's funny, isn't it? I work a lot with bone magic, not so much with blood magic. If I need blood or representation of a blood in a spell, I tend to use a substitute. I might use beetroot juice or red wine vinegar or something that has the colour. The idea of using the blood is not something I've ever really connected with. But again, you can buy blood from the butchers. I guess it's more difficult to get it ethically sourced. If you're buying blood, it's from the butchers. So you know that the animal has been killed for food. You don't necessarily know the source of it. I think there are some really good substitutions for it, but again, it's what you're comfortable working with. If I had some, I would probably work with it for spell working. But again, it's the energy of the animal, isn't it? So you could work with it just as honouring the animal. I don't know. Does anybody else work with blood magic? What are your thoughts on that? I wouldn't, not really an area I've worked with an awful lot. But if I was gifted it, I'd see where it took me. Sephora. Chickens are very close to little dinosaurs. They are, aren't they? An observation of mine who live quite free and in a food forest. Dog's just come in. They've discovered, haven't they, that a lot of the dinosaurs that we are familiar with used to actually have feathers. The T-Rex would have had feathers. Kind of puts, Jurassic Park a little bit slightly off. But yes, they are. They are. Chickens are apparently very close to dinosaurs in the whole chain of evolution. They do look a bit. I'd love them. Chickens are T-Rexes. So they are. Good source for rooster feet is one of my bosses who keeps chicken. Oh, I remember you saying that. Yes, you showed us some pictures of the roosters. As soon as the roosters grow up, they fight. He has to kill the worst bullies before they kill the others. That is the nature of the animal kingdom. Yeah, it is. We used to find that on the pig farm too. If there were runts of the litters, then the mothers would dispatch them. Yeah, it's the animal kingdom. It's the way it goes, unfortunately. Angela. We'd been here 2 years before we discovered the house is called the Owlery. Brilliant. That's fabulous. Wild boar roam even the streets and gardens and suburbs of Berlin. Oh, tag you in a comment on my Facebook where I posted videos. Brilliant. I didn't see that, even with young ones. The little mint humbugs. They are chill and just roam the street. Oh, yeah, I would be there. How fabulous. Monique, how about using black pudding? Wow, yes, that would work, wouldn't it? Blood pudding. That makes me think a little bit Klingon now. Blood pudding. It's not blood pudding, is it? What is it? Blood pie, is it?
Yeah, blood pie. Yeah.
Blood pie, I think the Klingons eat, don't they? Having a little Star Trek moment here. Actually, Ness had black pudding on her fried breakfast the other day. I'm just totally outing her. It's not one of my favourites, I must admit. But yes, you could. Absolutely, you could. But you're honouring again, aren't you? When you are eating food, you are honouring again. You are honouring the energy of the animal because it has been sacrificed so that you can eat. Yeah, absolutely. I work with food magic anyway, so yes, that makes perfect sense to me. Jane, menstrual blood is free for pre-Crohn's, but might be seen as a bit yucky. Again, it's blood magic. It is used quite a lot. I've heard people who work with runes, anointing them with their own menstrual blood to make that connection. I think there is a blood kind of connection with runes. Anyway, yeah, it's about, I think with that, particularly with divination sets, it's about bringing your own energy to it. If you are working a spell for yourself, a prick of your own blood, which I don't do because I don't. I don't want to make myself bleed because that seems a bit, But you could. Prick of your own blood added to spell working will bring your own energy to it. If I want to bring my own energy to it, I would rather do a nail clipping or a piece of hair because it's less icky. But menstrual blood works as well. I don't have any of that anymore. Yes, it's about personal connection. It is about adding your personal connection to your spell working, to your witch bottle, to your rune set, whatever you might want to use. Yeah, it is. It's a personal connection. All of your bodily fluids work that way, though. You could spit in it and it would have the same effect. Just saying. Don't use blood magic anymore. Didn't much anyway, but I used black pudding for the blood pit. I think that works brilliantly. At least it was investable if that was required, but I'm vegetarian now, so I don't do it anymore. I like the idea of using that. That works perfectly. Zephora, you could have a pet coon pig if Eric would share. I don't know what one of those is, but it sounds like I need one. I have to look that up. It sounds fabulous. I want one, whatever it is. Blood wine, yes. Klingons drink lots of blood wine, don't they? Kapla. do love a Klingon. Xenia. Fun fact, there are even foxes in Berlin who learn to wait at traffic lights. Wild animals adapt to cities. They do. Their fur is even greyer than the red foxes in the wood, matching the grey of the streets. Interesting. Animals adapt. Animals adapt. As Professor Malcolm in Jurassic Park says, nature will find a way. Learn a lot from Jurassic Park. Monique, tell Ness, Stronaway black pudding is the best. Cliff, who is a Trekkie, says the Klingons have blood wine. It is blood wine, isn't it? There is a pie they eat because his mum made it once and I can't remember what it's called.
Roquet blood pie.
Roquet blood pie. That's it, isn't it? Roquet blood pie. Yes. We're sad. We're very sad. This is very true, Jane. Diabetics have a ready supply of blood if they use a blood sugar testing device. Yes, you can use the little pricky finger thing and get a little drop of blood.
Technical expression.
Yeah, and that's all done properly as well because you don't want to do the whole Klingon slashing your palm with a batleth because that's really not sanitary and not very good from an antibacterial point of view. So yes, one of those little sugar testing things that just pricks your finger, it works very well. But as I say, you can just spit in it. If you want bodily fluids in it, you can just spit. Yeah, Emma. Yeah, the Lancer and needles in a diabetic kit, definitely better. Right, I am going to have to Google coon pigs in a bit. Yeah, that's going to be my task for today. I'm going to need one, I know. David, remember silencing a crowd of witches at Witchfest, suggesting you could bite your lip to bring blood into your magic. Wasn't my idea. It was told to me by a follower of Odin, but it would do the same thing, wouldn't it? Inflicting pain on myself doesn't sound very good. Or actually, thinking about inflicting pain on myself, when I've had my tattoos done, I have kept the tattoo needle. My ritual tattoos were all done by Susie, and she gives you the tattoo needle. If you're having them done in a shop, you can often buy the needle off of them. That then can be used for blood magic because it's got your own blood on it where you've had your tattoo done. And I then use it for carving candles or putting holes in things or pressing things into candles and spell working because it's got my blood on it. So it brings that blood magic with it. So that works quite well. Yes, the nurses at our surgery are vampires. Are always after my blood. They do that, don't they? Xenia. Funnily, I'm grossed out by all bodily fluids, but I like bones and teeth. Each to their own. Each to their own. Sephora, just realised I could get a hubby to bring home his next vampiring for, wow, big word, hemochromatosis. They just throw it out anyway. There you go. Sorted. Xenia. And antlers, of course. I think antlers, actually, they're a good starting point, aren't they? If you've not worked with bone magic before, antlers are a good starting point because the animal sheds them. So the animal stays perfectly happy and bouncing about, and the antler is kind of bone. It's almost bone. Bit like your fingernails, I suppose, isn't it? It carries the energy of the animal, and it is a good place to start if you're not used to working with bone magic. Antlers are brilliant. You can make them into jewelry. You can slice them up if you've got a power tool. You could make runes out of them. You could paint or draw sigils on them, use them in spell working, or use them just simply to connect with the energy of the animal or honor the animal. So antlers are a good starting point, really, if you're going to look at working with bone magic. And then the next step, I guess, is if you are cooking a roast chicken, eat the food, boil the bones, don't waste it, make stock, make soup, and then wash and dry the bones and see what connections you get from those. Some of the smaller bones can be ground up and used in spell working as well, in magic powders, in spell pouches, but also use the bones to connect with the energy of the animal. And that, you've just bought your chicken from the butcher or the supermarket or wherever you buy it from, and there's no ick involved in that. That is another sort of next step up from the antlers. I think it's just being about mindful of the sources of bones and wings, and making sure that they are cleaned and dried properly as well, because you don't really want any ick, do you? Monique, when sewing, the amount of times I prick myself, I can use that. Yeah. Ow. Oh, no, don't. Save it. Definitely. Information. We like facts. Xenia. Antlers are made of bone material. Horns are made of keratin, like hairs, means they can be destroyed by keratin-eating nasties. There you go. I've learned something today. Thank you for that, Xenia. Emma, you're throwing the big words at me today. Phlebotomist usually have a bat on their door window. They must get quite a lot of jokes, mustn't they? Zephora, I wonder if bruises have any sort of magical power. They certainly involve blood. Interesting thought. Don't know, never thought about it. Yeah. There's a whole damage, hurt, releasing, working through it. The bruise usually comes up once, it's a couple of days afterwards, isn't it? So you're working through it. Yeah, definitely something there, I think. Teeth are another thing. Teeth are an interesting thing. Some animals, the dogs, when you've got puppies, they lose their teeth, so you can save those. That works quite well. My boar teeth are really, really, really old. I was gifted them by a shamanic chap, so I don't know the source of them. I trust that he knew the source of them. But they're interesting because they carry the energy of the boar, but they are teeth rather than bone. I think for me, antlers, teeth, bones all have slightly different energies because they are slightly different things. Horns as well could be because they're made of slightly different materials, maybe. But I think because they are slightly different parts of the animal itself, they do bring different energies with them. Different ways of working with them, I think. Emma, do my best throwing those words out this time in the morning. You are surpassing yourself today, Emma. Monique, what about the fluid in the blister? Now we're getting really gross. Could that be used too? All bodily fluids all bodily fluids can be worked with for magic. I wrote about it a lot in the hoodoo book because that is quite a big part of hoodoo. They use bodily fluids quite a lot, whether it is spit, sweat, menstrual blood, body blood, the gentleman's contribution. It all brings a connection. It brings a connection to life because it's all part of your living body, but it brings a really personal connection, which is where hair and nail clippings come into it as well. If you have got that from someone, then you have a really, really strong connection for them to enable you to work your magic. So on the light side of it, if you're doing a healing spell, it's quite good to have a piece of their hair or whatever bodily fluid you happen to have, because it brings that direct personal connection. In hoodoo, it is quite often used for slightly more nefarious means. There is a tradition of putting menstrual blood in your husband's coffee to keep him faithful to you. I never make you coffee, you don't drink it, so you're all right. But I think as we've been together 33 years, it's not something I need to worry about too much. He's never going to accept a drink from me ever again. But it is quite a thing that blood is used, and it is used at kind of like a binding, really, to keep that person to you, because bodily fluids are so personal. Witches' bottles. If you find a lot of the old witches' bottles that were buried in walls or above fireplaces in a lot of the houses in Britain, they were filled with pee, basically. And that was to protect against witches, but it brought a personal element in. It brought that element of the homeowners. It was personal to them. And it protected against witches, apparently. Just, this went a whole different way, I thought. Learned at the hard way, found out that nasty bugs got into my shaman bag, into a tin box, and ate a precious small owl feather, and also drilled holes into precious foxclaw. So I googled to find out why. Yes, if you are working with bones and feathers, make sure that they are properly cleaned before you use them. Sephora. Are your boar teeth or tusks? They are teeth. Somewhere have a boar's tusk from a huge wild boar. Someone got pig hunting. I would love a tusk, but no, mine are quite small teeth that I've got. Jane. No one's mentioned tusks. Is ivory taboo in witchcraft, or is it okay if it's pre-1947? I think a lot of this stuff is, if it's not new, then you're fine. I think if you find an old piece in a junk shop, I think it's quite nice to use it, utilize it, and honor that animal. It's already done. What you will probably find with something like that, though, that the energy might be a bit off, because if it is an old piece of ivory, then it was likely taken by force. So you be mindful that there might be some residual unpleasant energy that might need cleansing. I'm not saying don't buy it. I'm saying you might need to cleanse it first. I think something that old, rather than it just gather dust in a junk shop, honor it would be my. But you've got to feel okay about that. That's definitely not the newer stuff. Definitely not. No, let's avoid any kind of animal cruelty like that. That's just wrong. Karen, if you're grossed out by women's blood and gentlemen's contributions, you can substitute for hawthorn and mistletoe berries. Yes, there are lots of things that are representative of the fertility of male and female that you can use from your herbal cupboard. Yeah, definitely. Xenia, spitting magic apparently is being used a lot by macho boys in the large cities, spitting on the pavement when someone walks by. It's the footballers too, isn't it? They spit and blow their noses without
That's why they
hankies.
do it. It's the blokes' kids do it because of the
Yeah, the kids do it because of the footballers. Stop doing it. It's gross. There is no need for it. Yes, it's gross. But again, snot, bodily fluid, that works too. David, I've got dog's teeth in a jar. I use them for healing, protection, a few other things. When think about it, I had to battle for them. Oh, my girl likes to eat them if she loses one. You tried chasing a dog, shouting at her to give you your tooth. You get some shocked looks from people. Yeah, you would. But really useful. And the energy of dog is brilliant. Loyalty, protection, all sorts of wonderful things. Sephora, did anyone else see the announcement of, yes, Practical Magic film? Yep, coming in 2026. Cutting the hands to bind me. Well, they use a bird, don't they? In the original Practical Magic film, they pierce a bird's heart for a love magic spell. There you go. David, also why people spit in their hand before sealing a deal, binds an oath. Yes, personal energy. Spit in your hand with the other person's personal energy. It is sealing the deal, definitely. Bodily fluids do have quite a huge part in magic if you choose to use them, and more easily to get hold of than an elephant's ear or whatever. Elephant's ear, yeah. It is, Xenia. It's gross. It is all gross. They need to stop doing it. It's not big. It's not clever. I think on that note, bone magic. Yeah, give it a try. Start with antlers if you're nervous about it. Think about bones in your roast dinner. See if you can connect with the energy of them. And also, we didn't mention it, but think about leather jackets, leather shoes, leather sofas, leather anything really. Ness won't mind me telling you, she's got a new casting cloth for her runes. That is a piece of cowhide. Ties in with the cow energy of one of the runes, I believe. Runes, not my thing, but it's beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. So yeah, leather would be another way, or suede would be another way to connect with the energy of animal if you're unsure about bone magic. But if you don't want to work the energy side of it, then there are always bodily fluids. And on that mention of bodily fluids and magic, I will leave you to it. Please do join me tomorrow evening, Saturday 10th of May, for MoonCon, or if you're watching this at a later date, hop on over to the Moonbooks YouTube channel and find it. It's going to be glorious. Otherwise, I will catch up with you next time. Enjoy your investigations into bone magic and bodily fluids. Take care, everyone.